हेलो वेलकम टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। तो लाइक करें, शेयर करें, वीडियो अच्छी लगी हो तो आज सैम्पल क्वेश्चन पेपर क्लास 12 इकोनॉमिक्स के रीडिंग करेंगे। आज सिर्फ रीडिंग, अपने को कुछ रीडिंग, बुक्स रीडिंग। सब्सक्राइब टू माय यूट्यूब इन इंग्लिश। तो आज इसका सब्जेक्ट है डिमांड एंड इलास्टिसिटी। डिमांड एंड प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड। डिमांड क्या होता है? डिमांड इज डिफाइंड एज अ quantity of a commodity that a consumer wishes to purchase in the market in a given period of time at various price of the commodity. Individual demand is so a quantity of a commodity demand by an individual consumer at various price of the commodity. Market demand, the market demand by all the consumer in the market at various price of a commodity. It's referred to the market demand. Quantity demanded is referred to the specific quantity which a consumer purchase against the specific price of commodity. Demand schedule, the representation of the price and quantity demanded is referred to as the demand schedule. Individual demand schedule, it is referred to the demand schedule and individual buyer. It shows quantity of a commodity which an individual buyer will buy at different possible price of the commodity at a point of time. Market demand schedule, it is referred to the market demand schedule commodity by all consumer in the market. It shows different quantity of a commodity which is consumer intend buy at different possible price of a commodity at a point of time. ठीक है, आवाज आ रही सी 60। डिमांड कर्व। डिमांड कर्व क्या होता है? डिमांड कर्व इज अ ग्राफिकल प्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ अ प्राइस एंड क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड. Individual demand curve, it show demand for a commodity made by an individual at different price at a point of time, or we can say it is a graphical presentation of an individual demand schedule. Market demand curve, it show various quantity of commodity that all the buyer in the market are ready to buy different possible price of the commodity at a point of time, or we can say it is graphical presentation of a market demand schedule. Linear demand curve, a demand curve is said to linear when its slope remains constant. Equation of linear demand curve is given quantity demanded. Vertical intercept price of commodity and slope of demand curve given as P upon Q. Demand function, it is so the relationship between demand for a commodity and its various determinants. Individual demand function, it is so her demand for a commodity by an individual consumer in the market. It is related to various determinants of demand. Market demand function, it show the how market demand aggregate demand for a commodity in the market related to the determinants of market demand. Determinants of demand, the factor which affected the demand of commodity are given below: price of the commodity, income of the consumer, price of related goods, preference of the consumer relating to change availability of goods, distribution of income, size of population. Low of demand. Low of demand state that over other things remain the same way. When price of any commodity increase, its demand falls, and when price falls, its demand increases. It shows inverse relationship between price and commodity and its quantity demanded. Assumption of low demand, taste and preference of the consumer remain constant. There is no change in the income of consumer. Price of the related goods do not change. No expectation of further change in the availability of commodity. No change in distribution of income. No change in pollution. Population. Reserve reserve for a low demand, low marginal utility, income effect, substitution effect, size of consumer group, number of issue of the goods, expect expansion of the low demand, goods consumption, necessity, expected change in movement along the demand curve, change in quantity demanded. A movement along the demand curve is caused by a change in quantity demand of a goods and response to change the price of the goods. Other things remain constant. Movement along demand curve can take following terms. Extension of demand. It is referred to the rise of demand due to the fall in price of goods. In the situation, there is a downward rightward movement along the same demand curve. Construction of demand. Fall in demand due to increase in price termed as a construction demand. In a situation, there will be an upward or leftward movement along the same demand curve. Shift in demand curve and change of demand. A shift of demand curve is caused by change demand due to the change in the factor other than price of goods. A shift in demand curve can take following two forms. Increase in demand. When demand is commodity rise to the factor of then price is called increased demand. Decrease in demand. When demand is commodity falls due to the factor other than price, it is called decreased demand. Cross demand. It is a situation where a change the price of commodity result change in demand of other commodity, and the types of demand is witnessed in case of related goods. Related goods, there are two factors: substitute goods or complementary goods. Substitute goods, there are those goods which can be used in the place of each other, such as tea and coffee, ball pen and ink pen, etc. In case of such a good, increase in the price of causes increase in demand for other causes. Complementary goods, there are those goods which cannot be used separately. Such a good complete the demand for each other and other therefore demand together. Pen and ink, bread and butter are some example. In case of such a goods fall in the price of causes increase the demand of the other wise normal goods. These are the goods for which the demand is directly related to the consumer income. Other thing remains constant. Demand for these goods increase the response to the increase in consumer income. Inferior goods, there are goods for which the demand is inversely related to consumer income. Other thing remain constant. Demand for the decrease in response to increase of income. Elasticity of demand, it is referred to the degree in a demand due to change in the price of commodity of income of consumer price of related to goods. Price elasticity demand, it is measure the क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड ऑफ गुड्स ड्यू टू द चेंज इन इट्स प्राइस। ठीक है, प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड आज क्या क्या पड़ा, रीडिंग करी अपन, डिमांड एंड प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी डिमांड क्लास 12th का इकोनॉमिक्स का। तो कैसी लगी हमारी वीडियो, चैनल को लाइक करें, शेयर करें, सब्सक्राइब करें। ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच। रेगुलर एक वीडियो आएगी रीडिंग की, सिर्फ बुक्स रीडिंग करना है, रीडिंग करके इंग्लिश रीडिंग, तो मेरी भी प्रैक्टिस अच्छी होगी, आपको भी मिल जाएगा। सिर्फ रीडिंग। सब्सक्राइब टू माय यूट्यूब चैनल। थैंक यू सो मच।